provision of 4,389 internship, learnership and apprenticeship opportunities for young people since 2019. We will convene a provincial skills development conference with all the SETAs to enhance our initiatives to maximize our skills development program. We continue, Madam Speaker, to collaborate with the Central University of Technology, the University of the Free State and Mutewa TVET College on various medium-term strategic framework priorities. Our work with the SETAs have led to the provision of 4,389 internship, learnership and apprenticeship opportunities for young people since 2019. We will convene a provincial skills development conference with all the SETAs to enhance our initiatives to maximize our skills development program. We continue, Madam Speaker, to collaborate with the Central University of Technology, the University of the Free State and Mutewa TVET College on various medium-term strategic framework priorities. merSETAs have led to the provision of 4,389 internship, learnership and apprenticeship opportunities for young people since 2019. We will convene
auto mechanics, motor mechanics, boiler making, fitting and turning, electrical, plumbing, and many more. One of the partnerships that we have recently got into as merSETA was to address the missing middle, where we have partnered with NSFAS to fund 300 students for 3 years to ensure that they've got access as well to high quality education in different sectors, especially the sectors that address the skills needs in our sector. One of the other partnerships that we have gotten into, we are proud to announce that we have cleared debts for students in different institutions, students who cannot graduate and who cannot get their certificates because they owe the institutions. We have partnered with 4 institutions. merSETA is one of 21 SETAs. The SETAs were established in 2001. SETAs stand for Sector Education and Training Authorities. merSETA operates in the manufacturing, engineering and related services. We facilitate training in the metals chamber, auto chamber, motor chamber, new tire, small components and plastics chambers. Our mission is to increase access to relevant skills development and training opportunities, to reduce inequalities and unemployment, and to promote participation in the economy. Each year, the merSETA partners with different institutions in the MES sector, be it public or private institutions. We partner with TVET colleges and many others to ensure that our youth have equal access to training opportunities. We support young people to pursue engineering-related fields such as auto mechanics, motor mechanics, boiler making, fitting and turning, electrical, plumbing, and many more. One of the partnerships that we have recently got into as merSETA was to address the missing middle, where we have partnered with NSFAS to fund 300 students for 3 years to ensure that they've got access as well to high quality education in different sectors, especially the sectors that address the skills needs in our sector. One of the other partnerships that we have gotten into, we are proud to announce that we have cleared debts for students in different institutions, students who cannot graduate and who cannot get their certificates because they owe the institutions. We have partnered with 4 institutions for now. It's Walter Sicily University in the Eastern Cape, it's Montego College in the Free State, it's University of Free State, and it is Central University of Technology. It is through initiatives such as these that we as the merSETA cement our unquavering commitment to our stakeholders and the nation at large, ensure that we are indeed leaders in closing the skills gap.
Our work with the SETAs have led to the provision of 4,389 internship, learnership and apprenticeship opportunities for young people since 2019. We will convene a provincial skills development conference with all the SETAs to enhance our initiatives to maximize our skills development program. We continue, Madam Speaker, to collaborate with the Central University of Technology, the University of the Free State and Montego TVET College on various medium-term strategic framework priorities.
merSETA is one of 21 SETAs. The SETAs were established in 2001. SETAs stand for Sector Education and Training Authorities. merSETA operates in the manufacturing, engineering and related services. We facilitate training in the metals chamber, auto chamber, motor chamber, new tire, small components and plastics chambers. Our mission is to increase access to relevant skills development and training opportunities, to reduce inequalities and unemployment, and to promote participation in the economy. Each year, the merSETA partners with different institutions in the MES sector, be it public or private institutions. We partner with TVET colleges and many others to ensure that our youth have equal access to training opportunities. We support young people to pursue engineering-related fields such as auto mechanics, motor mechanics, boiler making, fitting and turning, electrical, plumbing, and many more. One of the partnerships that we have recently got into as merSETA was to address the missing middle, where we have partnered with NSFAS to fund 300 students for 3 years to ensure that they've got access as well to high quality education in different sectors, especially the sectors that address the skills needs in our sector. One of the other partnerships that we have gotten into, we are proud to announce that we have cleared debts for students in different institutions, students who cannot graduate and who cannot get their certificates because they owe the institutions. We have partnered with 4 institutions for now. It's Walter Cecily University in the Eastern Cape, it's Montego College in the Free State, it's University of Free State, and it is Central University of Technology. It is through initiatives such as these that we as the merSETA cement our unquavering commitment to our stakeholders and the nation at large, ensure that we are indeed leaders in closing the skills gap.
Our work with the SETAs have led to the provision of 4,389 internship, learnership and apprenticeship opportunities for young people since 2019. We will convene a provincial skills development conference with all the SETAs to enhance our initiatives to maximize our skills development program. We continue, Madam Speaker, to collaborate with the Central University of Technology, the University of the Free State and Montego TVET College on various medium-term strategic framework priorities. Our work with the
merSETA is one of 21 SETAs. The SETAs were established in 2001. SETAs stand for Sector Education and Training Authorities. merSETA operates in the manufacturing, engineering and related services. We facilitate training in the metals chamber, auto chamber, motor chamber, new tire, small components and plastics chambers. Our mission is to increase access to relevant skills development and training opportunities, to reduce inequalities and unemployment, and to promote participation in the economy. Each year, the merSETA partners with different institutions in the MES sector, be it public or private institutions. We partner with TVET colleges and many others to ensure that our youth have equal access to training opportunities. We support young people to pursue engineering-related fields such as auto mechanics, motor mechanics, boiler making, fitting and turning, electrical, plumbing, and many more. One of the partnerships that we have recently got into as merSETA was to address the missing middle, where we have partnered with NSFAS to
us rise to welcome the Premier. Thank you very much. While standing, we go into sing the national anthem. In my program, it was indicated that it will be done by Mateo. If not, the DJ will assist us with the national anthem. Thank you very much. You may be seated. If there are still students at the registration center, let them come in. That registration will happen hereafter. For now, we want them in the hall. My name is Kopun Radikonzane, and I work as the Director General of the Free State Provincial Government. Welcome to this session. It has been dubbed as a session where we are celebrating because we are assisting the cause of those needy students who have been experiencing shortage of funds to be able to deal with their university obligations. And we are quite glad that the merSETA have been very generous in assisting us to deal with this problem. They are today our main blesser. So merSETA, thank you for blessing us with this assistance. We welcome the Honorable Premier Mkolisi Dukwana. We take the opportunity to welcome the MECs, various MECs from our various departments who are here, including the MEC for Education, who is also at the center of the event today. Your Worship, our mayors from various municipalities, the Vice Chancellor of the University of the Free State, the Vice Chancellor of the Central University of Technology, and the Principal of Moteo, and all other colleagues coming from those institutions, my colleagues from various government departments who are here, and new students from our esteemed institutions of higher learning. We welcome you to this session, and we would want to attempt to conclude this session just after 12. So every speaker on the program can assist us to conclude. We have already lost an hour because you were not in the hall. We were here from 8:30. So don't say the Premier and all other guests delayed you. You are actually the people who delayed you. We could not start the function, the wedding, without the bride and the bridegroom. So we waited for you who are at the center of the event today, and welcome to this important event. I'm going to request MEC Brown to do some opening talk and welcoming all the guests who are here. And then from there, Advocate Malakwane, Tsorala Malakwane, the head of the department, will immediately follow to quickly introduce the guests, and then we will proceed with our program for the day. MEC Brown is dealing with the welcoming, but also important to further elaborate on why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director Kihaleboa. Our Premier, Ndati Mkolisi Dukwana, members of the Executive Council, mayors and executive mayors present, the DG, HOD, CEOs, board members of state-owned entities, and senior management of provincial and local governments, the leadership and board members, CEO and senior management of merSETA, the Rector and Vice Chancellor and the Council and senior management of the Central University of Technology, the Rector and Vice Chancellor, the Council and senior management of the University of the Free State, Principal, Governing Body and Leadership of Moteo TVET College, student representatives of all institutions, corporate, SA, private sector that are present, of course, all of you beautiful students, ladies and gentlemen. The Free State Provincial Government, led by our Premier Ndati Dukwana, and the members of the Executive Council in partnership with the Manufacturing, Engineering and Related Education and Training Authority called merSETA, Mr. Malapo, our board member of merSETA, and the CEO, Ms. Mpande, had a vision, joint vision for skills development for the youth of our province. But not only for skills development, but for an environment that is conducive for the youth to enter the mainstream of our economy. It is no secret that the global economy has slowed down, and the higher than expected global inflation peaked in 2022. Largely related to deepening geopolitical tensions, which has indeed affected our domestic and our local economy. It is thus that our province, of course, is in the process of finalizing and updating our Free State growth and development strategy, which will pave the way a focused and clear approach to our socio-economic objectives, our targets as a province, and our implementation and action plan. Having to manage a very tight fiscus as Treasury, it is an absolute welcomed relief to achieve our objectives in the province with this strategic partnership with our SETAs. Today, this very first of its kind event, which will culminate in the signing of a memorandum of agreement in its aim to skill and reskill the unemployed youth of our 5 districts within our province, and to furthermore meet the urgent need of reducing our high unemployment rate in the Free State. We are introducing to you, young people of today, we are introducing you to the private sector who is present, and our private sector to you. This is our repository of graduates in the engineering, manufacturing, and other related fields. They are fresh, they are hungry, they have new ideas, they are innovative, they are motivated, and they would love to practice within your institutions, in your various graduate programs, learnerships, and of course with the aim to be employed. Our various departments and institutions that will receive and are beneficiaries of the merSETA partnership is the Office of the Premier, Department of Education, Department of Economics, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Community Safety, Roads and Transport, Mateo TVET College, University of the Free State, and the Central University of Technology. I am sure the Premier will be delighted to talk to the numbers related to those partnerships. I would like to urge our beneficiaries, young people of today and tomorrow, those of you who will enter the working world without any debt, kindly focus on savings and purchasing productive assets which will appreciate in the future and be good investments, not only in business but in your personal investment capacities. To those unemployed youth who will be placed in those various skills programs across the province, those that are in the various sectors that are outlined in further discussions today, come with a call to action. Bring your right attitude, be innovative, and learn techniques that will create efficiencies in line with governance and the regulatory requirements within the institutions that you will serve. Congratulations, Honourable Premier. Congratulations, merSETA, for this exquisite partnership. We are looking to this incredible program, and we are looking forward to the students of the future and what you will contribute to our society as large. I thank you very, very much, and you are thus all welcome to this very, very prestige event. Thank you very much. Kia leboa.
Thank you, MEC Brown, MEC for Treasury. Let me invite the HOD for Education, Advocate Soralo Malakwane, to handle the next item.
Thank you very much, DG. With your kind indulgence, DG, I've got quite a long list of acknowledgements to make. I'm going to propose that I go through the list and probably at the tail end request that we really accord all the attendants a round of applause. Because I believe that money talks, all else walks. I thought it's very important that I go through this list as quickly as I can so that the most important announcements are actually made without a hindrance. Let me take this opportunity therefore, DG, to really thank you for the privilege of allowing me to render this item. I take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to acknowledge the presence of our Honorable Premier, Mxolisi Dukwana, for the Free State Provincial Government. I also need to take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of MECs present today. The MEC for Sport, Arts, Culture and Recreation, Honorable Dimakaso Mahasa. The MEC for Community Safety, Roads and Transport, Honorable Queen Matai. The MEC for Education, Honorable Makalo Mohale. The MEC for Public Works and Infrastructure, Honorable Dipulelo Mahlatsi. And the MEC for Provincial Treasury, Honorable Khadija Brown. I will also take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of executive mayors for the following municipalities. First, Ledabi District Municipality, Lejoli Putswa District Municipality, Mangaung Metro Municipality, Thabo Mofutshanyane District Municipality, and Harip District Municipalities. Because of the long list of mayors, I want to also acknowledge the presence of any of the mayors of the 23 municipalities. I almost did something that is very career limiting by forgetting to announce the MEC for this year. He is my former chairperson of SCOPA and the former chairperson of the Standing Committee on Education. I know I would not have slept if I left without announcing my dear MEC Tabomeko. MEC Tabomeko, my humble apologies. And then let me acknowledge the presence of any of the 23 mayors present and any of the 23 municipal managers present. I also want to acknowledge the presence of HOD for this year, Dr. Mbulelo Nokweku. I could not recognize any other HOD of any department. If they are here, my humble apologies, they are duly acknowledged. Let me take this opportunity also to acknowledge all financial institutions present. Financial institutions present. I wish I could be Mzwake Mbuli and have that echo, financial institutions present, because without them, they are unable to extend our hand in augmenting the budget that is never enough for government. Let me take this opportunity to acknowledge all financial institutions present: Standard Bank, ABSA, Nedbank, African Bank, Land Bank, Old Mutual, Ashupol, financial services companies, Vodacom, and MTN. There are also entities in our midst, all representatives of FDC, all representatives of Centlec, representatives as well as the CEO of the Free State Gambling, Liquor and Tourism Authority, representatives also of Blue Water. I would also want to take this opportunity because sometimes it's very important for people to know who are people behind the support that is accorded to government. I would want to start first with the merSETA delegates. The Accounting Authority Chairperson, Ms. Kate Muloto, Accounting Authority Member, Mr. Tapelo Molapo, Acting CEO, Mrs. Nedi Sampande, Acting Chief Operations Officer, Mr. Naftali Mukhotsane, Corporate Services Executive, Mr. Rajesh Jok, Chief Information Officer, Mr. Tebuo Muepi, Acting Strategy and Research Executive, Dr. More Manda, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer, Advocate Lebuham More, Client Relations Manager, Mr. Gerard Slabet, and the host, which is the University of the Free State, under the leadership of Professor Francis Peterson, who is the Rector and the Vice Chancellor, Professor Prakash Naidu, Deputy Vice Chancellor Operations, Mr. Temba Hlaso, Executive Director, Student Affairs, Mr. Chris Liebenberg, the Chief Financial Officer, Mrs. Belinda Kalitz, Director, Financial Aid. And for the food bev, which is a SETA that we work extensively with in the Department of Education, Mr. Sinaye Mgidi, Senior Manager, Learning Programs and Strategic Projects. From EWC SETA, the CEO, Ms. Dikeledi Koikoi, from the University of the Free State staff, events department, Valami Vermeulen, Chantel Lopsha, and Alain Isaacs, who is responsible for everything electrical. From the OHS, Tato Block, Dipolo Modise, and Tutu Melesi. South Campus staff, Jeannie Combrink, Natalie Peterson, Samuel Bo, James Mpatsi, Mkolisi Razi, Nelson Mabija, Godwin Giradingwe, Mukoni Mutlenyane, Sophie Takanyane, Funiwe Tsipani. And now to the Central University of Technology, Professor Pamela Dube, Professor Alfred Ngowi, Mr. Mili Nemichili, Mr. Dan Maritz, Mr. I was at the point where I was introducing Mr. Dan Maritz, Mr. Kahisho Metseng, Mr. Stephen Lubuzo, Ms. Tlolohelo Muhlati, Mr. Nati Mbikwana, Ms. Paballo Rasimetse, Ms. Sipokazi Mchobile, Ms. Abongile Khatla, Ms. Rifilwe Mahobo, Mr. Thabo Mopela, Mr. William Titus, Ms. Olweti Chula, and Ms. Sitati Semenokane. For Motel delegates, under the leadership of Professor Putsisi, Advocate Kuma, Mr. Choteti, Mr. Olin, Mr. Mohobo, Mr. Ntsieng, Mr. Makai, Mr. Klink, Mr. Murubani, Mr. Mufukeng, Mr. Mahasa, who is a marketing intern, Mr. Mulekwa, Gerard Slabet, and Louis van Hastien. And lastly, Ms. Motlogelwa. I would also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the recipients who are our VIPs ultimately today, and also acknowledge the presence of their parents, and also our other recipients, the artisans, and all stakeholders. May I then at this stage request the House to give them a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Advocate Malagwane, for the introductions. I'm going to call on stage the head of skills development in the office of the Premier Spakabane to address us on the purpose of the event and will subsequently be followed by our main blesser today, merSETA, Me Disampade, the CEO.
Good morning, everyone. Okay. Thank you, DG, our master's ceremonies. Let me acknowledge our Premier, Ntate Mxolisi Jukwani, all MSCs present, HODs, mayors, MMs, officials. I think the whole government is here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is history in the making. I'm going to tell you why. That what is happening today, it has never happened. Today, it's a happy day. You know, I was telling my PA there that, hey, DJ, I got 2 minutes fell. We are supposed to be excited today. We are supposed to be happy. It's a happy day. It's a happy day, DJ. 2 minutes. Oh, mutlakas, okay. Bacha, nekire kya lezama. Nekire kya lezama, bacha. The reason why I really want us to be in a happy mood, it's because the reason why we are here is, you know, merSETA sat around the table with Free State government under the leadership of our Premier and said, what are your needs? Exactly. We discussed our needs. They gave us a lot of money for almost everything that we requested for. But today, the focus, ladies and gentlemen, is on. I want you to listen to me carefully. The universities were so excited, both universities and Mutewa College. They were so excited when they received a call that, you know what, can we deal with the outstanding debts of the students? This is the group that is frustrated, miserable, they have graduated, they can't get their certificate, they don't know what to do, they can't get internship because they don't have the certificates. So today, it's their day. I was wondering how, I was talking to my staff and said, tell me, I work with the young ones, it's only me who's old. So I say, how would you feel if you just receive an SMS from a college or your university that says, hey, Spakabani, come on the 17th, we're going to pay your outstanding debt. That is why I'm saying this is a very special day. Parents are happy, universities are happy, students are happy, government is happy, our blesser merSETA is happy. They can see smiling faces on our face, because this will also help them to start their own businesses and to get employment, because you can't move without your qualification. That is why we are here. The second reason why we are here, ladies and gentlemen, is to enhance our relationship with merSETA. We're coming from a long way. there's this thing about them and the Free State. There's that relationship. So we're celebrating that relationship and we're saying thank you. We acknowledge the love and the care and the money that we receive as Free State government. Another reason of us gathering here. Remember when I started, I said, merSETA gave us money, guys. It's not only for the outstanding fees. You see the ladies and gentlemen with blue overalls. We're zooming into artisan. We're zooming into artisan today. It's their first day in class. And you know how many are they? In the whole province that are starting at 2,200. They are starting with different programs. You name them, they're welding, fitting and turning, mechanical, you know them, all that sector. We're trying to ensure that we build that capacity. That is why I really wanted you to say, can we have a smiling face and be happy and enjoy the rest of the day? Thank you.
Thank you, Mespa. Gina blessa. DG uti singama blessa. Is it fine? Bitsola ka goeiemôre. Dumelang molweni. Bitsola ka ke Ncedisa Mbande. Sisuthu esoko sisitswana. Sisuthu. I'm from the Eastern Cape. Githetha isiXhosa or Gibuwa isiXhosa. I am the acting CEO of merSETA. I'm also my former role at the merSETA, I've been at the merSETA for 6 years. I am the Chief Financial Officer, so I am a real blesser. I am a chartered accountant by qualification. I studied at the University of Cape Town, and I also had the same problem that the students had, student debt, that I had to carry through as I was doing my articles. So that is why I agree with Mespa. This is a really good day. Can we really give a round of applause? So Mespa is right. I took my whole office and I said we are going to the Free State, all of us. We need to speak with the management of the Free State, the government. We call it management, Premier. And I know here there's different words in government. But we sat around the table and we said we've come to ask what are your needs for the province. And the reason why we did that is because I happened to listen his State of the Province address. He didn't know me, and I liked what he said. And the following day, I asked my team that let's go. We need to support the people of the Free State. That is why we are here. We are committed to assist in every way that we can. merSETA in particularly is, I know that as a province, you have a lot of dreams, but you cannot do that without the proper skills. And that's where we come in. So, formal hellos to the Premier of the Free State Province, Honorable Xolisi Dukwana. I've got MECs, 2 MECs written here, so I'd like to acknowledge all the MECs in the room, the mayors, the HODs, and everybody that is in this room that is not on my speech. I'd like to acknowledge the one of our accounting authority members, Mr. Mulapo. Our chairperson of the accounting authority is not here. So I called him, he will tell you this. I called him in the evening one day and I said, because he chairs the Finance and Grants Committee. And I said, I'm going to ask you something I've never asked you before. I want us to convene a meeting because there is a real need in the Free State. And then he said, CEO, how soon do you want it? I said, if you can set it up for us in 2 days, we'll be happy. And that happened. I was agreeable, and we had that meeting in the evening, right, Che? From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., just looking at the province of the Free State. So this really is a project that is close to our heart. So we thank you for making it, Mr. Mulapo. We'd like to acknowledge all the representatives from labor, business, educational institutions, parents, teachers, and learners, dignitaries, guests, and friends, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol is observed. Today's event comes against the backdrop of the enormously successful investment conference held by President Cyril Ramaphosa in Johannesburg last week. More than 1.2 trillion rands has been pledged for our economy by various role players. And investment conferences and pledges synchronizes well with the merSETA Free State Provincial Government Partnership. Just to recap, the merSETA has 44,000 companies which have a labor force of about 600,000 employees. The merSETA has 6 chambers. These are metals and engineering, auto manufacturing, motor retail, tire manufacturing, plastics, and automotive components. Our 6 chambers are the richest resource for understanding skills development, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats facing the MER sector in all provinces. There were several questions that needed to be asked as a forerunner for today's MOA with the Free State Provincial Government. Among these questions was how we jointly boost and understand the forecasting process for skills demand and supply in the Free State. How do we align new training mechanisms for climate change with technology enhancement, new product visions, and virtual systems integration into existing qualifications for continuous professional development? How do we understand the unique skills development needs of large employers versus SME employers versus township economies in this province? The answers to these questions from the operating landscape of today's MOA with the Free State is as follows. In a nutshell, the agreement makes available more than 180 million rands for a bouquet of projects aimed on empowering youth with skills. For the Education Department, 10 technical schools will receive 18 million rands, while 150 apprentices and skills programs upgrading valued at more than 34 million rands will be catered for. For this year, 5.5 million rand has been earmarked for 100 IRPL candidates. The MEC met me in Joburg last week and said, "Ish, you gave us malinyane." Kari, MEC, use it and see if you want top up. So this is a long-time commitment for us as merSETA. Candidates in the automotive sector. This will open entrepreneurial opportunities as it involves the small and micro business so sorely needed in our townships. In the Community Safety Department, 460 skills and ARPL programs will kick off to the value of more than 21 million rands. Regarding the Moteo TVET College, the agreement earmarks about 34 million rands for 165 apprentices for merSETA-related QCTO occupational certificates, 5 million rands for a 4IR computer lab, 28 million rands for work-integrated learning in the electrical and mechanical engineering fields, and 14 million rands for energy security labs. The Motero TVET College is the second in this province to benefit from the merSETA's focus on 4IR labs. Last year, we launched a similar lab at Maluti TVET College. I believe the merSETA has bragging rights around these computer labs. We have earmarked 10 colleges throughout the country for such interventions and Maluti and Moteo are the first ones. That deserves a round of applause. And I should say, I don't have any relations in the Free State. There's no conflict to declare. But it shows the leaderships in these colleges, because Maluti was the first to respond, and we met Prof. Of Moteo College last week. She's also very passionate. So we want to come, Prof. I'm not sure if she's here, to cut that ribbon very soon. The merSETA has 2 key outcomes on this issue: to establish and equip 4 IR centers at 10 TVET colleges with 4 IR equipment and tools, and to develop and introduce curricula that will have components such as awareness training for Industry 4, the introduction to Industry 4 for management, and Industry 4 applications and practice. Overall, we will fund the training of 80% of identified TVET colleges staff to a maximum of 40. We will train 70% of identified management to a maximum of 30 to increase their knowledge about Industry 4, and develop at least 2 trainers per TVET college on hands-on training to become master trainers for Industry 4. The merSETA and its partners will also ensure that each identified TVET college is equipped with Industry 4 lab equipment and teach Industry 4 in their classes. 70% of students per year in the address vocations will gain Industry 4 related knowledge and skills during this vocational education. Apart from the above-mentioned initiatives, the merSETA is painfully aware of blockages to full employment that students face as a result of being unable to receive certificates of formal education due to outstanding debt. Today's agreement goes some way to alleviate this issue. Together with Moteo TVET College, the Central University of Technology, and the University of the Free State, these universities will receive about 71 million rands to ease outstanding debt before the graduation. With this snapshot of the MOA, I pledge the merSETA's solidarity on our way in the new economy. I thank you.
It's too high in Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, fine. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, SPA, and thank you, Disa, for your presentation and also enlightening us further on the purpose of the event, including the input that merSETA is making to this province in various institutions. Thank you very much. I'm going to call upon Mr. Neo Motshabela, who's going to give a message of support on behalf of the business sector. Mr. Neo Motshabela. He comes from a company called C3 and OFS panel beaters. So you must give him a round of applause. He's your potential employer.
Program Director, Honorable Premier, MECs present today, Director General, all HODs present, academia, captains of industry, all students present, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Neo Motsabela, and it's a privilege and an honor to speak to you today on behalf of the automotive body repair industry, C3 Academy. C3 Academy is a merSETA and QCTO accredited auto body repair center and a spray painting trade testing center. C3 Academy is also a part of the SMART group, which is then called AOFS, which is an auto body repair center, one of the biggest, in actual fact, in South Africa. Through merSETA's accolading hand, we as a training center have been able to conduct hundreds of trade tests leading to qualification of candidates across South Africa. We are one of 3 accredited auto body repairs and trade testing centers in South Africa. This includes ARPL assessments in the respective trades, allowing us to place informal industry a healthy and capable workforce. We, as a private institution, work closely with NGOs and NPOs such as iDestiny, who share the same training vision. Auto body repair affiliates such as insurance companies and OEM-approved structural repairers, colleges, TVETs such as the Mateo College, and government departments, partnering on merSETA-funded projects, ultimately ensuring a positive socio-economic impact through the introduction of skills programs, learnerships, and full qualifications. Again, in 2022, we were able to partake for the first time in Bloemfontein and host the WorldSkills South Africa Auto Body Repairs and Spray Painting local, provincial, and national competitions. There, candidates on the merSETA program competed amongst themselves to ultimately compete in the national competitions where I had the privilege to serve as a national expert in Switzerland. I myself am a beneficiary of merSETA. I am an artisan. And as the slogan goes, it is cool to be an artisan in this century. Training does not only impact the participant. Training impacts the industry at large. Having a skilled workforce keeps the respective supply chain healthy and attracts, as well as retains, international investor interests. This speaks directly to job security and creation, which I am sure we all agree is one of our biggest ills as a nation. I understand that a lot of candidates sit here today and they wonder, once they receive the certificate, once their debt is now cleared, will they have a place to go? Training and ensuring that our training is of a high standard ensures that we participate with the best of the best in the world. This implores us to match the greatest international standards and invest in 4IR establishments. And this is a plea to also merSETA to ensure that our facilities are of that standard. And lastly, merSETA's ARPL initiative has changed many lives because it has corrected, firstly, the ills of the past, where people were not being recognized for their abilities to actually participate or contribute effectively inside the workplaces. Now, it's leveled the playing grounds, and it has allowed for people to be recognized who have great years of service. And I say this because we are currently running an ARPL program, and I've seen the impact and the change that it has made. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Neo. Quite encouraging that you are in the space where we think skills for work needs to be produced. The moment we just don't have to study for sake of studying, but we have to acquire skills for work, and your presentation here assists us into that particular direction, as well as the work that your company and other businesses that you've spoken on their behalf here represent. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite let me see whether I have got chairs here. Yeah, at least I have two. So we will invite the Muteo Tibet, CUT. I don't know whether Professor Putsisi has arrived. She had indicated she will be late. So maybe let's take Professor Pamela, message of support. And then Professor Francis Peterson, you can also come upstage and take a seat upstage. If Professor Putsisi is not here, then Mr. Nigel Olin, you can also come upstage. Welcome, Professor Dube. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, DG, and to the Honorable Premier, Mr. Mxolisi Dukwana, members of the Executive Council, the Executive Mayors, HODs, the CEO of merSETA, and the leadership of merSETA, the student leadership of the institutions represented here, and the students, distinguished guests, all protocol observed. On behalf of the Central University of Technology Free State, we would like to thank the Free State Provincial Government and merSETA for inviting us to be part of this very special event and for reaching out to give this unstinting support to our students. I'm very delighted to be part of this remarkable function this morning and to share in the joint collaborative engagement that recognizes the perennial challenge of student debt and, more importantly, the inability of many of our students to graduate in record time and secure employment accordingly because of financial constraints. We are delighted by the presence of the Premier and members of the Executive Council whose passion for young people in our province is highly commendable. We have seen how the Free State government allocates resources, in particular towards supporting their studies. And this has been unprecedented in our country. And we continue to see the spin-offs in terms of how the Free State remains on the #1 spot as a province with remarkable achievements in education. We feel honored and privileged to be associated with the provincial government in the manner that we are. And we commit to providing the necessary support towards our collective efforts to promote education and post-school education and employability of our young people in this province, and through these collective efforts of this province and ourselves for the country. We commit to supporting the partnership being recognized here today and to give effect to the mandate of merSETA. This partnership between, and the MOU between merSETA and the Free State Provincial Government is an important intervention which is crucial in supporting academically deserving students from disadvantaged backgrounds. Over the years, merSETA has helped youth in this province gain access to higher education and to achieve their goals of changing their lives, their families, and communities. This partner remains a beacon of hope for many young people who may not otherwise have an opportunity to realize their dreams. CUT is among a few universities that have reached above 46% of the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics enrollment. Therefore, we feel a special responsibility to the future of our STEM programs. Our tradition of excellence in this priority field is ours to improve for the future generation. Furthermore, through your unwavering support, we can meet the growing needs for us as CUT, together with our partners, the University of Free State, and Mateo and other TVETs in the province, to strengthen our offering in this critical area of STEM. Honorable Premier, it would be remiss of me not to mention that our partnership too as CUT with merSETA has come a long way. In 2014, we signed an MOU to provide an advanced access for youth in post-school education and to ensure continuous professional development of FET lecturers and technical school teachers in STEM subjects, and support the national agenda of increasing the graduates in the scarce STEM subjects, including broadening of access for female students in STEM fields. Some of the technical training of FET lecturing staff was done in collaboration with the HAMK University of Applied Sciences in Finland. Another focus has been the technical secondary schools in the Free State and Northern Cape province, emphasizing young female learners in schools and current students. Our partnership with merSETA has reached such a level that we have now a co-sponsored chair in innovation and commercialization of additive manufacturing. Our Faculty of Engineering, Built Environment and Information Technology continues to promote women in engineering to upgrade skills and work towards increasing the numbers of female students in the engineering field. In this vein, we will continue to support government programs in pursuit of our common mandate of delivering quality education for our youth in this province, and work collaboratively towards maintaining the position of the Free State as a leader and game changer agent in education. As I close, I want to remind that next month, CUT is hosting our graduation ceremonies, and we would be delighted to invite the Executive Council to come and witness the values of your investment in the university. I thank you very much. Ke a leboha.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Director General of the Province. Honourable Premier, welcome, good morning, and also welcome to one of our campuses at the University of the Free State. I would like to welcome the MECs present here this morning, as well as the HODs of the different departments, the mayors and representatives from the mayoral committees of municipalities in the Free State. I'd like to welcome the representatives from the business sector that's here, but also from other sectors that provide employment within the Free State province. A very specific welcome to the acting Chief Executive Officer of merSETA. Welcome here in the province. And also to all of the other representatives that represent various connections with the province, with the business, with the higher education and further education institutions in the province. And then obviously our guest of honor, our students and their parents that are here this morning. This is a moment of celebration. We as my colleague have said from the Central University of Technology, we also as universities going into graduation ceremonies this coming week. In fact, starting tomorrow, we've got 19 different graduation ceremonies that will happen. And in fact, it's a celebration of achievement. And what we have found here is that there are students that would not have been exposed to that celebration, and the contribution that is now possible through the partnership between the Free State Province and merSETA would allow you to do that, to come and walk on the stage and be capped and get your formal qualification. And I would like to say thank you to the province and to merSETA for allowing that to happen. So today is in fact a very joyous effect and a very joyous event. But I would like to add that this is also the start of what I believe real collaboration, real co-creation between the different partners. You know that we all have in our individual capacities, either as the province or at the different institutions, very strong relationships with merSETA. The CUT dated back in 2014. We also came around that time, but we really impact and grown our relationship with merSETA since 2017. And it's great to take it up to a next level. But we need to understand what the collaboration could mean. It's not purely just to provide financial support to students that could enter the workplace, preferably in the Free State. But it is also opening up a platform where much more can be done if we put our minds together as the province, as the MECs, as the different higher education institutions, as the TVET college, as business, as the non-governmental organizations, to make this the province that the Premier talked about. So this event I see as an event of pause, event of asking what is the next step. And the next step should be formidable action to be able to ensure that our students that now would become graduates can enter the economy of the Free State. They can participate in businesses in the Free State. They can also start new companies and work enterprises, economic enterprises in the Free State. But very importantly, they can also bring in, together as the collaborative effort, industries and inputs from elsewhere in the country, on the continent, in the globe, to make this one of the strongest economies in South Africa. And this event for me signifies exactly that. And we would be amiss, Premier, Honourable Premier, if we don't build on this and take it forward. So I would like to say, on behalf of the University of the Free State, to the province, to the Honourable Premier, to merSETA through their acting CEO, to all of the individuals and departments and areas that has worked hard to make this event successful and make this initiative successful, I would like to say thank you. And we certainly would use that platform to build further and to make sure that our students, and specifically from our quintiles 1 to 3 that are here this morning, have the opportunity to develop and build confidence in themselves with the qualification, to add value. But to our students, I would like to say congratulations. And this contribution also places a massive responsibility on your shoulders, because you also have to be thinking about those that will come after you, that might sit in the same position. So now that we assist you today, I would like you to go out with that thought to say, at some point, I also will plow back. I also will give back to make sure that there are more students that could enter the different areas that has been specified this morning and make a contribution to make a stronger province, a stronger country, a stronger continent, and hopefully a better and a fairer world. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Muteo. Thank you.
I'm doing this speech on behalf of Prof. Putsitsi, the principal of Mateo TVET College. She wanted to be present here today, but because of other pressing matters that I don't want to disclose here, she could not engage. Be here. Let me start to acknowledge the following important guests. Honorable Premier of the Free State Province, Honorable Dukwana, Honorable MECs in the Free State, Executive Mayors of all the municipalities, CEO of merSETA and all the board members present, the Vice Chancellors of the two universities, invited guests from business, staff members of different higher institutions of learning, parents, students, ladies and gentlemen. The appointment of the Honorable Premier of the Free State, Mr. Dukwana, is indeed a watershed moment in the history of the Free State. The following matters are areas of concern as Free State Province citizens. 38.4% the unemployment rate based on the 2020 data, and the latest data suggests a much bleaker picture. Illiteracy rate of the Free State Province is about 10%. And as well, those that are not in education and not in employment are standing at the moment at 48.3% in South Africa. Honorable DG, as our program director, ladies and gentlemen, with this data as background, we are very hopeful that under the new leadership of our Premier, real change will take place. TVET colleges can play a vital role in the process of reconstruction of our economy by making a contribution to the skills revolution in the province. Our colleagues have made the following inroads in the TVET college space. We have reviewed our program qualification mix, the introduction of 4 IR programs, IT and robotics programs, the establishment of the National Artisan Academy. We are neighbors to the University of the Free State, Prof. Peterson. And there we have a national asset where we can train 12 trades as artisans. We have also embarked on agricultural studies at Plot 32 and at Zestron campus. We have a rigorous entrepreneurship development program at our college, specifically focusing on entrepreneurship development, and we have inculcated that particular culture in all our programs. The focus on maritime studies is a big focus of Mateo TVET College. We have also established international and national partnerships, including with countries in Germany, Netherlands, and the United Kingdom, and also very crucial partners with other institutions of higher learning and private companies within South Africa. Our furniture factory are producing furniture to government departments and the private sector. And we are very excited about that, Mr. Program Director. The different strategic documents as well as the white paper for science, technology, innovation, and the post-school education and training highlighted the following challenges: deficits in program quality, professional capabilities of our staff, the need to build stronger management information systems at TVET colleges, the need to restore links between the colleges and the labor market, improving placement of college graduates in secure jobs, and the confusion around the branding and the placement of TVET colleges within the PSET sector. Despite these challenges, ladies and gentlemen, Mateo TVET College has emerged as a key player within the TVET college sector. The support provided to our TVET colleges in the Free State by the Free State provincial government and the merSETA is highly appreciated. We want to acknowledge your support in the following projects: 165 students in the occupational programs that can lead to artisan development, will funding for 400 students within the electrical engineering and mechanical engineering space that are going to be placed at municipalities within the Free State. Assistance in the form of computer labs for our 4IR hub at the National Artisan Academy. Energy security labs, and then our occasion today, debt assistance to 1,150 students in the critical skills programs from Mateo TVET College. Yeah, you can go on and give applaud. I think we are the biggest stakeholder when it comes to, we are assisting over 1,150 students with the help of the Free State Provincial Government and the merSETA. So as College Council, the executive management, we want to express our sincere appreciation for your support, Honorable Premier. And we hope, with the assistance of the merSETA, that there will be an ongoing relationship with the Free State Provincial Government, the merSETA, and Mateo TVET College. In conclusion, the principal are saying the following, and we want to end off in the words of Prof. Richard van der Ros, a former rector from the University of University of the Western Cape. The real measure of a man is not where he stands in times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. I want to say, Honorable Premier, as a South Africa, as Free State Province, there is a lot of challenges. There is a lot of controversies, unemployment, skills gap, and so I can go on. We doesn't create a lot of jobs, but thank you, Honorable Premier, that as a collective, institutions of higher learning, your government, the merSETA, we are joining hands together and we are saying, yes, there are challenges, yes, there are controversies, but we are rising up to the occasion to confront these challenges and these controversies as a collective. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much to the leadership of our institutions, Professor Pamela, from our Vice Chancellor of the Central University of Technology, Professor Peterson, our Vice Chancellor from the University of the Free State, and Mr. Nigel Olin from Motheo, who has now simply represented the principal. I've seen the principal entering. You were just 5 minutes late. You could have made it, but welcome that you are here, Professor Putsisi. Let's move on, and we are going to take students from Motheo TVET. We have Matseho Lepallo from CUT, Thabo Mopela, and from the University of Technology, Tsepam Bambo. These are representing beneficiaries of this generous gesture from merSETA. I want the three of you to come upstage. Agribale rekale bua chelete monar. merSETA retla ole bua jwa. merSETA retla ole bua jwa. merSETA retla ole bua jwa. Rona re tshepile wena. merSETA retla ole bua jwa. merSETA retla ole bua jwa. merSETA retla ole bua jwa. Rona re tshepile wena. Areng yo he naki tari. Rona re tshepile wena. Ha re tsebe re tla o leboha jwa. Ha re tsebe re tla o leboha jwa. Ha re tsebe re tla o leboha jwa. Rona re tshepile wena. Thank you very much. Let me start with the president of the Motheo TVET, Matseho Lepallo.
Thank you very much.
You can have a seat here, and the other person can also have a seat on the other side.
Okay. Okay, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you very much, Director. Let me firstly greet our Premier, the MECs, the mayors, the principals, all the students filled in this room, and the presidents of CUT and YOFs, but mostly the most important people in this room, our student. Our protocol is observed. One quote that I would like to quote is, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." The effort in developing skills in the youth of the province and the country is appreciated and acknowledged, Premier and merSETA. Not only will this be an investment, but it will be a huge opportunity for us as the youth to develop the skills we need and take this province and this country where it's supposed to be. We appreciate the efforts the province has taken to do this for our students and the community at large. Not only these skills will help our youth to fulfill their dreams, but it is also to encourage them to do more in life. All the CEOs that are here of different businesses, I hope you know where your employers are. They are here. We seek employment as the students, and we really appreciate that the Premier saw it best that he funds the students. I remember, Premier, when we had a meeting, you did speak about this, that you are going to seek partnership with merSETA. Thank you very much, Premier. DG, also I remember the other time when you came to the institution late last year, we did have an engagement and I was saying, can we give our students employment? You did own up to your word, DG. We thank you. What I am going to say to our students, let's take this opportunity, move forward with it, because this is an investment. This is for us to do better in our lives. Many of you did not graduate because your debts were not paid. It is our sincere gratitude as the students of Motheo TVET College to have received this, because we know that in the coming months, our students are going to graduate and receive their certificates and will get employment. We really do appreciate you, Premier, our sincere appreciation from all the students, not only in Motheo, but in CUT and in YOFs. We are all excited. DG, Premier, merSETA, thank you very much for blessing us. And I hope that our students are going to grasp this and move forward, because in any case, this country needs people who are going to develop it in skills, because many of us are not studying skills. But those of you who are privileged to study the skills, grasp this opportunity, use it to your advantage, because it is an investment that you will leave behind. Thank you very much, Premier. I appreciate.
You can have a seat there. President Masegos, a seat there. And we call President Thabo Mopelo from the Central University of Technology to address us.
Greetings to the province, greetings to the Premier of the province, Mr. Dukwana, greetings to the leadership of the province, greetings to all our MECs of our beloved province, greetings to all stakeholders, greetings to all merSETA, greetings to all the guests, Vice Chancellor, colleagues, and lastly but not least, greetings to all CUT students and also all students. All protocol observed. My name is Thabo Mopela. I'm the SRC President, Central University of Technology. My task will be brief and straightforward from this podium. Let me use this chance to express my gratitude to to the administration for funding you are providing to the university, which is to help our students to get a tool that will assist them from now till forever. It appears that you were aware of the conflict that we were having as student leaders regarding historical depths of our students, whereby our students, they come to the university to get a qualification that at the end, when they finish their studies, they do not get because of the older institution. It pains us to see a student helped by NSFAS, for example, and the very same student receiving allowances from the university, and only to find out when they finish the race, boom, there is a red tape that claims that they can't receive the qualification because they owe the university money. It is a severe problem since the very same qualification that they are unable to obtain is the very same one that will transform the circumstances at home. Most of our students, they come from low-income families, and this qualification is the only way or the only one that will enable them to get a job and help at home. On the very same side, we are very delighted and glad that when our students walk across the stage this May for graduation, they will receive the tool that will transform their lives forever. And for that, I would like to thank you for ensuring that our students, they get what they belong to them. That makes us very delighted. As you all know, our youth unemployment rate in this country is very high. As I speak, we have students who are at jail because after graduating at the university, there was a red tape that said that you owe us the money, hence we can't give you the qualification. So their only way was to help at home was to do criminal activities. We would like to express our gratitude for the funds that you will be providing to the university for our students to get a tool that will sustain them forever. In conclusion, our former president, Nelson Mandela, once said, "Education is the only powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." And with those words, I thank you.
Let me invite, you can take a seat that side. Let me invite, he calls him, or the school calls him President General. Tsepam Bambo, I don't know, I've been saying President, but now this one is President General. Tsepam Bambo from the University of the Free State. Thank you, my friend. Is it fine? Okay.
Greetings to all attendees gathered here. Normally in such a sitting, I'd say Amandla, but of course we're here to formalize things. On behalf of all 40,000 students of the University of the Free State across all 3 campuses and all sub-regions from Bethlehem to Sasolburg, we would like to express our greatest gratitude to the Free State Provincial Government and merSETA for this wonderful contribution that aims to assist over 1.5 students from the University of the Free State, the Central University of Technology, and Muteo TVET College with historical debt clearance. The initiative gives a future to the affected students and it empowers them to graduate and become working citizens in our country as they apply their skills and qualifications that they obtained from their respective institutions of higher learning. As the UFS Institutional SRC, we have since embarked on a series of fundraising programs and projects to add to the 1.3 million that was received from the Mutsepa Foundation for the historical debt clearance. We are delighted to hope and hope that many stakeholders and role players in civil society and the government will recognize the need for urgent intervention in reducing student debt and historical debt to ensure that our students remain in the system and that historical debts do not strain university processes, and university resources. We are grateful for the support. Then may all other SETAs proactively respond to societal challenges as such as this one, like the promptly the merSETA has done. Thank you for the platform, and we wish that our students do graduate and do obtain their qualifications so that they can further and then add to the skills that are needed to the country to move our country forward. As we see that there is a shortage and lack of skills in our country, but then the skills that are possessed by the students cannot be utilized, as the students do not have the qualifications to now present to their employers as credibility that they did then now attend schooling of higher education. Thank you for the platform.
Okay, Masego. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, President Amandla. Thank you, President. Thank you very much for your words of appreciation from Motheo, CUT, and the University of the Free State. On behalf of the students, we welcome your words of appreciation. Thank you very much. Let's invite Mayor Agnes Naha on behalf of the parents. Mayor Agnes. Lebitsong la batswadi wa fumana la graduate mona re congratulate lona mona re lebetse gore na batswadi ba sebetsa ka thata jwang hore lebe mona ga leboa. Kgotso Magnus, over to you.
Ke a dumedisa. Oh, empa ke tlo bala mos. O tla kgona ho ba tse Yes. Ntse ba mametse. Okay, it's perfect. Nna ke Agnes Naha, ke tswa phase 6. Ke thabela monyetla o ko fueng hore ke tlo ema monana bakeng sa batswadi ba fumaneng thuso. Ke leboha government ya Free State bakeng sa ho go thusa rona batswadi ba hlokang. Le merSETA haholo. Ke dumedise Premier Ntate Mqolisi, ke dumedise the MECs, government officials, business representatives, the guests, batswadi ba teng, bana ba dikolo kaofela, ke re dumelang. Ke leboha monyetla ona jwalo ka ke se ke tšhulo. Ke rata ho leboha haholo hobaneng ha ngwana a kena sekolo o le motswadi o lebelletse hore ka moso haholo ya sokolang o le motswadi ya sokolang o lebelletse hore o tlatla a o thusa a o tlose lerweleng le wena o tsebe ho ba motswadi jwalo ka ba bang ka batho ba bang. Jwale ke leboha haholo ka thuso yena yeo re fumaneng. Ke re ke a leboha batswadi ba ka hobane ke tseba hore ka nnete thuto ke yona tsela e bulang ditsela. Ka ntle ho thuto ha ho letho leo motho a ka le fihlellang bophelong. thuto ke lesedi. Mme ke re ho bana ba rona, nka monyetla o le fuweng, le o sebedise, le o nke ka matsoho a mabedi. Nna ke eme monana, ha le mpona ke le tjena, a ka kena sekolo. So ke tseba ho sokola hore na ke eng. Jwale ke re ho bana ba hona jwale le lehlohonolo hobaneneng le na le mmuso o le kgahlametsang. So nkang seo le se fuwang ka matsoho a mabedi. Ke a leboha, ke leboha haholo.
Re a leboha. Re leboha mme Agnes haholo ka molaetsa o a o beileng sebakeng sa batswadi bohle. Ke na le bonnete ba hore motswadi e mong le mong a teng kwano le ba siyo ba thabile haholo hore mme mona a mokokotlo o sephara mme merSETA mme a mokokotlo o sephara mme merSETA o re jarile kaofela ke mme wa rona letsatsing la kajeko mme merSETA. Re a mo leboha haholo mme merSETA. Mme Agnes naha o se ile a leboha mme merSETA haholo on our behalf ka sena se wa se entseng. Re a leboha mme Agnes. I'm going to invite Mr. Thapelo Molapo, who is a member of the board of merSETA, to address us. Ndade Molapo.
Program tsena tse le di tshwereng di re puo ena e tlo hlaisa ke me Kate Moloto. Ha ke netefatse hore ke motla ke hane. Empa ha ke Kate Moloto. Bitso la ka ke Thapelo Molapo. Premier of the Free State Province, Honorable Mxolisi Dukwana, the MEC for Finance, Honorable Khadija Brown, the MEC for Education, Honorable Makalo Mohale, and the MEC for the Department of Economic, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Honorable Thabo Meko, and all the members of the Executive Council of the Free State Province, mayors that are here with us today, vice chancellors, principals, representatives of further and higher education institutions that are here with us today, representatives from labor, business education institutions, parents, teachers, learners, dignitaries, guests, friends, and all protocol observed. My colleague, the Chief Executive of the merSETA, has also already detailed the reasons why we are here today. My task is to give context to the work that have been described, firstly from the perspective of the merSETA, but also from the perspective of the future of work, which is the terrain to which and for which we all are here trying to prepare our young people for. I think it is important that as we look into the future, we look into the future with a properly critical eye. We are preparing our young people not for today, but for the future, 3, 4, 5 years or longer. It is important for us to have a firm understanding of what that future looks like. But before I deal with this item of the world of work, it is also important, colleagues, to acknowledge that we are also gathered here today to advance an important ideal in the constitution of the supreme, or the constitution of our land, which is the supreme law. And I will just briefly read what section 29(1) of the constitution says about the work that we are gathered here
in connection with. Section 29(1) reads that everyone has the right to A, a basic education including adult basic education, and B, to further education which the state should through reasonable measures make progressively available and accessible. So we are here to advance in a very small way a very important constitutional ideal. Fees must fall was often mischaracterized as a protest by the students. It was never a protest. It was a necessary and correct popular call for this country to accelerate a realization of this constitutional ideal. So this is part of the reason that gives traction to the importance of the work that we are gathered here to do today. In identifying the educational disciplines to focus on, or to focus our funding on, the Free State Provincial Government has already demonstrated a sharp awareness of the emerging future of work that is driven by the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And the merSETA operates at the epicenter of this revolution, and therefore has as part of its mandate the facilitation of opportunities through skills development for active participation in this global revolution by our country. It is important that we are not left behind the same way that we have been left behind by the first three industrial revolution by this one. We must be determined as a country to be at the center of this particular revolution in order to advance the odds of the people of our country. In 2016, German engineer and economist, founder and chairman of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, said about the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and I quote, "We stand at the brink of a technological revolution that will fundamentally alter the way we live, the way we work, and relate to one another. In its scale, scope, and complexity, the transformation will be unlike anything humankind has experienced before. We do not yet know just how it will unfold, but one thing is clear: the response to it must be integrated and comprehensive, involving all stakeholders of the global polity, from the public to the private sectors to academia and civil society." And I think the organizers of this event are sharply aware of this collaborative imperative if we are to realize the objective of skills development for the sake of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. This is why you have such a comprehensive stakeholder community standing in front of you here to talk to you today. Allow me then, because like many of you and like all of the beneficiaries of our support, I too am still a student. In my 50s, I continue to be a student. I'm pursuing my doctorate in artificial intelligence and its ethics. And so I work at the merSETA very keenly aware of the plight of the students of our country and the significance of their plight to the future of our country as a whole. Now, I would like to very briefly characterize the future of work, this world that we say we are preparing our young people for. And in doing so, I will borrow from a discussion paper that I wrote last year for our SETA, and I will take a few characteristics of the Fourth Industrial Revolution to give a picture of this world looks like. The first characteristic of the Fourth Industrial Revolution that I want to talk quickly about is the introduction of new material into manufacturing processes. New materials in the 4IR are materials that were not present or had no application in previous industrial revolutions that are likely to find wide application in this revolution. What is significant about the introduction of new materials in the 4IR is the effect that their application will have on materials that are currently applied in their state and the industries and economies that benefit from these traditional materials. Now, Schwab again refers to graphene as an example of new materials that are coming in as part of the fourth industrial revolution. Graphene is about 200 times stronger than steel, 1 million times thinner than human hair. I had to double check this a few times. 1 million times thinner than human hair, and an efficient conductor of heat and electricity. Schwab explains that this material is currently gram for gram the most expensive material on earth. It costs more than $1,000 for a micrometer size flake. However, when this material price becomes competitive, its implications on manufacturing and infrastructure industries will be disruptive. And its effects on economies that heavily rely on commodities, which South Africa is one of those, will be devastating. So it is important for us to begin to grapple with what happens when graphene takes traction as a material used in substitution for steel, which is one of the biggest commodities in our own economy. The second is 3D printing. 3D printing emerged as a radical departure from the traditional manufacturing methods where items were cut or carved from larger substances. That is why that manufacturing process was known as subtractive manufacturing processes. Through 3D printing, items are printed in 3D by depositing material layer by layer using computer-aided design technologies. This innovation has inaugurated a wave of additive manufacturing techniques and technologies that are finding their way into productive sectors of our world. Just to give you an example, Samad and others who wrote in 2020 give an example of China's Huangsheng Tender Group, who managed to create the world's first villa, a whole complex of residential facilities by custom-built 3D printing system, which conceptually withstood an earthquake level of level 8 on the Richter scale. The first 3D printing office was built in Dubai within 17 days in 2014. So 3D printing is able to print a house, an entire office block, within a period of 17 days. And the economists that studied the efficiencies of 3D printing have characterized the efficiencies of 3D printing as follows: that 3D printing technology in the construction sector could reduce construction material use by 60%. It would lower labor requirements, and please underline this, it will lower labor requirements by 80%. The number of people you have building in properties today, if 3D printing, and when 3D printing takes root, it will require only 20% of that labor. It will shorten constructive periods by 70% and reduce construction costs by 30% per square meter. I've learned recently as part of my research work that in fact 3D printing of houses has already went into mass production in the United States from the beginning of 2023. So we are looking at a short horizon, probably 60 months if we are lucky, before 3D printing of houses becomes a reality in our own country. We need to ask ourselves, how do we make sure that we accelerate our young people into that domain of construction? How do we make sure that when 3D printing becomes a reality in our country, our young people are ready to take full advantage of that? The third characteristic of the fourth industrial revolution is robotics. In recent years, robots have experienced increasing levels of sophistication, prompting unprecedented levels of interest in their industrial applications. Dixon and others explain again in 2020, and I quote, "With the advances in vision, speech, prediction capabilities, robotics have advanced beyond automating simple routine tasks and have become capable of performing more cognitively complex work as well as tasks involving specific types of manual dexterity." Underscoring this reality, Harari, writing in 2018, clarifies why robotics pose a different and perhaps more worrisome challenge for humans in the world of work. Displacements of people. One of the things that we have learned from history has always been that technologies have come and gone, and we have always been able to replace the jobs that technologies are taking. But Harari warns us that the fourth industrial revolution is not like the other three. It is a particularly complex revolution in the following way. He notes that since the beginning of the industrial revolutions, humans have been able to replace the jobs, mainly due to the inability of machines to replace the need for human cognitive input into production processes. Never in the past has technology ever been able to overtake humans in cognitive types of work. Technology has always been used for more manual type work, but in this particular revolution, through things such as artificial intelligence and so on, technology is also now zeroing into the world of cognitive application. The merSETA operates in this space where we have to lead the thought, particularly in conversations among our own stakeholders around how do we reposition ourselves through skills development to be able to deal with a world in which we work side by side with these robots. The fourth characteristic that I want to briefly refer to is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, as the name proclaims, refers to the catalytic capabilities that enable both robots and machines not only to perform cognitive tasks, but to effectively mimic humans. I mean, we are beginning to interact with robots everywhere we go, and we are beginning to experience how robots are already learning to mimic human beings. Through machine learning, machine and robots are able to process data, to make rational decisions, and to improve on the quality, efficiency, and scale of these decisions with varying levels of autonomy. Various types of machine learning, such as supervised machine learning, semi-supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced learning techniques, are employed to enable machines to perform intelligent tasks with varying degrees of supervision. The most advanced model of machine learning, deep learning, aims to model machine learning on the brain of a human being using artificial neural networks, a goal that will advance machines to the capability of artificial general intelligence, where they can autonomously perform tasks performed naturally by humans. Some of you, especially the students in the IT sector, may already be aware of the conversations we are having with ChatGPT, which is coming into the system, and it also poses challenges for the higher education sector. ChatGPT can, within a minute, write an essay for you. You instruct it, write me an essay, a 10-page essay on artificial intelligence. It takes a minute to produce that essay. So in the academic world, we're going to have to contend with how do we distinguish an essay written by ChatGPT from an essay that has been written by a student. These are things that we are already living with today. Professor Lamola, writing in 2020, offers a window beyond the world of work into the reach of artificial intelligence-driven transformation on the future of humanity in general, and beyond the narrow perspective of industrial and economic life. He expects artificial general intelligence to trigger a much more radical transformation of our human life experiences and our understanding thereof. He foresees Industry 4.0, which is what we are going into now, ushering us into Industry 5.0, which will spill over into what Glyden and others see as a transition from Society 4.0 to Society 5.0. Glyden had the following to say about Society 5.0, and I quote, "Society 5.0 will differ from Society 4.0 largely by welcoming into itself a bewildering array of highly sophisticated social and emotional robots." We already know in countries that are applying robotics through artificial intelligence to do basic policing work that people are now enjoying the parks together with robots. that communicate with them, that talk to them, that tells them not to litter, etc., etc. And this is what a Society 5.5 will be like. For the first time in all of known history, sentient beings will have to share the planet with a host of intelligent, insentient beings. The fact that we are not alone will now take an expanded meaning and with deep and wide-ranging ramifications on what it means to be human. The last characteristic that I want to quickly refer to is the digital economy. The emergence of the digital economy, which is one of the key concerns for every economy as the world drifts into this transition, is the range of questions that confront the notion of employment in this new economy. While both history and prognosis seem to hold a promise that employment can be sustained in this new economic world, the truth is that it will take a radically different method to experience rising employment as is our objective in this new economic era. Again, Schwab makes an illustration of the labor elasticity of the digital economy compared to the traditional economy. He gives us the example of Detroit versus digital Silicon Valley. He explains that in 1990, the three biggest companies in Detroit had a combined market capitalization of $36 billion US, revenues of 250 billions, and 1.2 million employees, underline 1.2 million employees. And then by contrast, in 2014, the three biggest companies in Silicon Valley had a considerably higher market capitalization, 1 trillion rand, generated roughly the same amount of revenue, 247 billion, but it employed about 10 times fewer employees, 137,000 workers. So the same size companies, three of them, in the past, 1 million employees. In the digital economy, the same market capitalization, 137,000 employees. What does this tell us? This tells us that we have to rethink what it means to be an employee. We have to quickly grapple with the notion of what employment means in that future economy. Unfortunately, it is not within our hands, even from a polity point of view, Premier, that we can stall the transition into the digital economy. The digital economy is driven from Silicon Valley, is driven from China, is driven from elsewhere in the world. All we can do is to make sure that we position ourselves to be real participants in that digital economy. The foregoing components of the 4IR are by no means representative of the full composition of this revolution. There are more and other important components, the exposition of which is not supported by time this morning. These include nanotechnology, biotechnology, blockchain, Internet of Things, 5G, immersive or extended reality technology, including augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality, as well as quantum computing. Not only is the list hardly exhaustible, it continues to grow every day in the dynamic 4IR ecosystem. By identifying skills such as agro-processing, chemicals, energy and green industries, the digital technologies, environmental science and biodiversity, automotive material industries, mining and mineral beneficiation, the Free State provincial government gives us the confidence that we have in the provincial government a partner with whom we can push our youth into this radically different future world of work. Successful and sustainable skills development requires a strong partnership. At the core of this partnership should be competent learners, competent institution of teaching and learning, as well as committed catalytic partners such as ourselves, the merSETA, and the Free State provincial government. The merSETA has a unique proximity to the workplace in its designated sectors of the economy. Through its industrial chamber committee system, the SETA is committed to facilitating productive partnerships between industry, and skills development. These partnerships are going to become increasingly crucial in the future. Gone are the days where learning can only take place in lecture halls. we are now in a phase where the workplace needs to be an active participant in learning and teaching. And we cannot leave that responsibility to our learners. I think one of the most disheartening things to experience is the trouble that our young people have to go through in order to access workplaces on their own in order to fulfill part of the requirements of their learning programs. It is extremely difficult for a student to call a human resource manager. These people called human resources managers are often very sadistic. They enjoy firing people, and by the way, I'm one of them. They enjoy firing people. They enjoy saying no. And they sometimes do not have the initiative to say to their companies, we need to open these workplaces wider. Workplaces must be places of learning. And they cannot just be the preserve of workers. They have to be available to everybody who has to prepare themselves to become a contributor in this economy. So our role as the merSETA, given our proximity to these workplaces, is also to facilitate access to workplaces for our learners. And this is a role that we are particularly passionate about. The country's 5-year initiative to attract 1.2 trillion rand, championed by our President Cyril Ramaphosa, has been highly successful so far, showing that South Africa has the hope and determination to propel the country's economy out of slow growth. The 5th South African Investment Conference report issued last week confirms that 90% of the targeted investment commitments totaling 1.14 trillion has already been achieved. 160 pledges are under construction, 45 projects have already been completed, and 450 billion rand has already been spent. Overall, however, predictions about our economy remain gloomy. The World Bank's latest forecast sees South Africa as economy growing by 0.5% in 2023. The South African Reserve Bank sees that growth at just 0.2%, and the International Monetary Fund sees that growth at only 0.1%. While this might be good news for naysayers, it must be pointed out that the entire world economy is facing the same economic pressures that we are facing, and nobody has seen economic pressure at such a global scale before. Now, intensifying skills development at adequate scale is crucial, a requirement for our economy seeking to get its way out of this decline. So today's occasion places the merSETA, together with the provincial government of the Free State, at the heart of our government's country's effort to move forward. We thank you, Honorable Premier, and your entire team for your engagement and eagerness to turn the Free State province around and relocate it firmly into the economy of our country. Through our partnership, we are also hoping to further strengthen our existing relationships with Maluti TVET College, Moteo TVET College, the Central University of Technology, and the University of the Free State. We are looking forward to building a sustainable skills development ecosystem that can guarantee not only results in our labor market, but a real positive impact in the lived experiences of our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tapelo, for a very insightful talk, insightful address. Thank you very much for that. I hope it has been well received by the students. I move to invite MEC Makalo Mohale, the MEC for Education, to make remarks and invite the Honorable Premier to address us.
Thank you very much, DG Program Director, to the Honorable Premier, the Dedukwana, MECs, Executive Mayors and Mayors, the Councillors, Vice Chancellors and Rectors, and the Principals of TVETs, and the management of all institutions of higher learning, the Chair and the CEO of merSETA, and management of the departments, HODs that are here, entities, SETAs and corporate entities, distinguished guests, leadership of student formations, the students, parents, and the people of the Free State. We take this opportunity to express our gratitude to merSETA for the good gesture that they have done for the province of the Free State. We are quite elated to be part of these historic occasions, which signify that the government is very hard at work to not only educate society, but to make a real impact and change. We understand very well that education, as a matter of all the professions, is quite important in the broader journey of government or the broader program of government of changing the lives of the people. But quickly, before I invite our keynote speaker, who is the Premier, I just want to take 1 minute to just remind those that do not know that what is it that how we see education as government, not only as a department, and that is summed up in the simple phrase by the strategic intent of the department that says, we raise the bar and we close the gap, as well as supporting all the learners in all grades. So our role as the education is not just to be one of those services, but is to ensure that everyone has access to quality education. Because quality education gives a true meaning to that particular qualification. Because at the end of the day, the certificates, diploma, the degrees, they will not have any meaning up until you are able to use that knowledge that you have acquired to derive value and to make a contribution somewhere. So that's basically how governments see education, to ensure that we complete that. But importantly, we want to close the gap because of the inequalities that are there. And merSETA, practically so, has indicated or has contributed or has played a role in ensuring that that gap is closed, because majority of our students are always left out. And we all know the devastating effects of financial exclusion. I know the student leadership is quite elated because one of their key programs, especially at this time of the year, is to fight financial exclusion. And that is also the view of government, to ensure that all learners are not lost somewhere. All the students are not disappearing into the thin air, but each and every learner and the student is quite important, because it's only through education where you can even ensure that a child of a farm worker can be the farmer himself. And it's only through education where even a child of a cleaner at the airport, that one day that child can be a pilot himself. So we value education as a province of the Free State. But importantly, we believe that our education, in its role of assisting in the fight against poverty, is an education system that not only creates people that are ready for employment, but if we want to employ more, we must equally create more employers. That is why our education system, even at the level of basic education, it ensures that they start preparing the learners to be in the right direction of the economy. Our education system in the province of the Free State is quite ready in preparing the future entrepreneurship, which will assist MEC MECO in economic development and assisting small businesses not to collapse for want of the skills. Our education system is playing a role to ensure that these skills that are needed for the economy, particularly the artisans, they don't just come across the learners, only starts to have interaction with those post general education, but we have those as part of our curriculum. Our education system is quite responsive and impactful on what is needed. So I must say that and appreciate the role that is played by everyone, and also thank the parents for their unwavering support, because our poor parents sacrifice a lot. They come home very late, they wake up very early to just ensure that all these learners, at least they are able to attend the institution. So we just request our learners to say, take advantage of all the opportunities that are presented. And we also want to thank those that have taken the advantage, because it's not easy, especially when we are from the poor background. So having said that, I would like to also once more thank merSETA, because it's one of those SETAs that play a more impactful in the economy. Because at the end of the day, the reason all of us are in government is to change the lives of our people. And at the center of changing the lives of our people is to ensure the economic emancipation. They must be able to access the resources to service their needs. And this SETA is the one that is in the key strategic sectors of the economy, because in the province of the Free State, we said we are going to accelerate the issues of manufacturing. We said in the province of the Free State, we must be the producers of what we consume. We don't just want to be consumers. And merSETA comes very handy in terms of their program. It's one SETA that is relevant in terms of the manufacturing and the assistance that they do. Because when you do agro-processing, you need the technical know-how to do so. Having said that, let me take this opportunity to invite our Honorable Premier, who is no stranger to governance. He's a well-experienced, but mostly a humble servant of the people of the Free State, who played a role in ushering democratic government. He was part of that cohort of the leaders who stabilized and ensured a proper change or transition to democracy, who has also played who has been in a number of responsibilities, but most importantly, he has also been the MEC for education. He's a teacher himself, Ntate Dukwana, who loves young people, who likes investing in young people. So let me take this opportunity to invite Ntate Dukwana, our Honorable Premier. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. Honorable members, Kaufela Halona, DG, I thought you were really winning this time. The DG made a pronouncement when we started, this meeting will go, we will finish just after 12. And I intend to help you get there by being very short. But the DG was right on time, but something messed your time, DG. So you are not on time. Ka program is still. Chairperson of the SETA in absentia, and the representative member of the board, Tapelo Mulapo, the merSETA acting CEO, Disampande, heads of department, UF's rector, and vice chancellor, Professor Francis Peterson, Central University Technology vice chancellor, Professor Pamela Dube, Muteo TVET principal, Professor Dipilwani Putisi, and all those representatives from this institution. I've seen also business people that are here, as well as our banker is here, NetBank representatives that are here, distinguished guest, thank you, Program Director, for this opportunity. Today is indeed a very special day for all of us who are gathered here. It is a day that does not only mark the end of complications which flow from not graduating because you are poor, but also the day you can celebrate your academic success and start a new journey of contributing towards the betterment of our country. On behalf of the Free State Provincial Government, I wish to congratulate you on completing your qualifications despite all challenges you faced through the journey. The financial challenges faced by many students is yet another sign of increasing exclusion and isolation of the poor in our society. And so we are immensely proud that you managed to conquer your studies, these challenges notwithstanding. We owe a great deal of indebtedness to the institutions that invested their resources in training you to be responsible citizens, which you must become. And you showed a much higher degree of responsibility and service to the people of our province because of your academic achievement and youthful energy. To borrow from one of Africa's greatest sons, Onkgopotse Abraham Tiro, I quote, "Of what use will be your education if it is not linked with the entire continent of Africa? It is meaningless," unquote. Please allow me to paraphrase him and submit that you guys are young and are decidedly destined to play a vital role reimagining our province and transforming it into one of the best in South Africa. As Onkgopotse Tiro correctly contends, the true value of your education lies in your ability to place it at the disposal of the people as a whole and fashion out mechanism through which to utilize it to resolve the problems we are facing. I remain confident that many of you will reflect on this message, observe the challenges faced by the communities you live in, and utilize the education you have acquired to shape your communities for the better. The most responsible amongst you will ask, what can we do to make our people live better? We are very honored today to have very special guests from merSETA, institutions of higher learning, and other stakeholders in the education and financial sector. We also have parents among us to witness this life-changing occasion and help us share congratulatory messages to these wonderful students in front of us today. This is our future. This is your future. We, for some time, we have produced students in many instances that are selfish. We produce students that do not care about their community. It's only their survival and going out. And it is because of our training as we were young, when we were told that you need education for you to live a better life. We're not told that you need education for you to be a better person in the community you live in. Instead, what we have done as young people, we've accumulated, went on, get education and accumulate whatever we can accumulate. And we don't care about the community. We don't care about the community as long as I succeed, as long as I'm able to live in a beautiful house, as long as I'm able to drive a beautiful car. I think that I've achieved as a person. And this education that we're talking about is useless. It is useless, an education that does not make you an available member of society and you play a meaningful role in changing society. We have developed attitudes that do not care, where we stand up and we don't give a damn what happens in our society, something that is around us. We all want what is best for us. We've forgotten that I am because you are, and you are because I am. It's all about you. We need to change this. We need all of us to understand that we are not being educated to be selfish individuals that are self-centered and thinking about themselves. We have too many of our students who have qualified, who have finished their degrees and they're still home. They're not working. Your success and what we are doing today could also be short-lived. You will get your qualifications, your results, and then what? Stay home, display your qualifications more high. We need to really reimagine the province and reimagine the country. We need to be bold. We need to be courageous. We need to be purposeful. The institutions of higher learning, all of them, we need really to sit down and begin to imagine what the future holds for us. We are living in a society, in a community, in an environment that is changing very fast. It is changing so fast that many of us do not comprehend what is happening. We go to schools learning getting some of the qualifications that in a week or so, in a month or in a year, become irrelevant because of what is happening around us. So as institutions of higher learning, we should not be excited only producing the skills when these skills are not needed anymore. We should also be advanced in thinking and also planning properly to know exactly where we're going, where this world is going, and the challenges that we are facing, and prepare our students, our learners. We're not preparing them as students, we're preparing them as responsible citizens who must play a meaningful role. So we are not going to do that as towers of high learning, removed from our communities and not knowing what is happening in our communities. The two universities, we've got master's students, we've got many of these students. They need to go down to our communities to understand what is happening in the communities that they live in. So as an institution, you can't just hide yourself and produce all these students, but you don't know what is happening in the community where you are situated. EOFs, for instance, leads in many fields, especially in agriculture and medicine, etc. But it is in Bloemfontein. We do not have in our communities, in the townships, we do not have enough doctors who can attend to people. I'm just making an example. Many of our families have to travel longer distances, and yet we've got institutions. An institution that is so good in producing quality doctors. So we can't be far from the reality that we want to solve. We need to be there. CUT, for instance, especially in the Goldfields area, in the Lijweli-Putswa area. What good is having the institution in Velkom, but when the institution in Velkom does not cater for the qualifications that would be more relevant in that area, it doesn't help anything. So we need really to sit down and talk these things. We need to be honest with one another. We need to tell ourselves the truth that we do not want to hear, but the truth that we must hear, and we must respond to it, so that as these institutions, as government, we work together to have a better province. Nako e fitlile bana beso, bana ba rona. Ya hore ntwena ya hore batho ba re hak Freestata Transvaal is fair. O tshwantse re fedise. Freestata ke pelo ya South Africa. Freestata e tlameile hore heartbeat ya Freestata e phedise South Africa. And we can only do that. And we can only be that and do that when we are serious about what we are facing. We can't be serious, especially Lona Bana ba kenang CUT. We can't be serious about this when most streets there are more taverns than other things, and many of our students bafella more. We can't be serious about education and the future of our country if nako ya lona e ngata le qeta le discussa non-issues mo ditavene. What kind of graduates are we producing that would never have an opportunity to look at what is the future like? And we end up spending more than so many hours discussing nothing. And yet we are the future. What future are we? You proudly, because you are young, you stand up and you say, we are the future. We don't want the future that is drunk. You can't be the future when most of your time you are drunk. You stand up and you say you are the future. What future is that? We are the future when we are irresponsible in what we do and how we act. We pronounce ourselves as the future. I don't think my grandchildren, your grandchildren, would like to live in a future that is irresponsible, led by irresponsible people. So we are not creating and we are not producing irresponsible adults. We are the future. That's what you say as young people. But look around. Look in the mirror and tell if you like what you see. Ba bang ba lona le bana ba hlomphang haholo ha le le hae. Ha batswadi ba lona ba le around le a hlompha haholo. Batswadi ba lona ba le bona ntho e nngwe. But you are another animal ha batswadi ba lona ba le siyo. Le diphoofolo tse tshosang. So re ntlameile re ke re bolelane bana beso. Re kgathetse ke bana ba sa kgathaleng. Re kgathetse ke di-politicians tse sa kgathaleng. Re kgathetse ke baetapele ba senang taba le nnete. So jwalo ka ke tjho ke re mona tsatsing la kajeno re tlo leboha le lona gobane re kgona hore re patale mekitlana e ntse le tshwareletse morao. Empa potso e tlang ka mora mona ke hore ha qetile mona ho etsalang. Re patala mekitlana ena, and then what? This is the question that we must be able to answer. And this is the question a responsible government, lead partners at that day, business and everybody must be able to answer. Do you know how painful it is if you're a student, you know your brother or a friend? Ya sebeditseng haholo o hayo na le masters ulutse hae. And you are working every day, you're going to school working hard, studying so hard, and yet at the back of your mind you know there is a friend, there is a sister, there is a brother, only 3 years at high. That reality ya tla ho wena hore, am I also going to be staying at home for 3 years? All of us must work to change that. How long to utlwisang you know how hard it is. Batswadi ba rona ba thabile. But do you know batswadi ba bangata ba re rata. Haholo ha ba batle le utlwa bohloko. Ho na le bomme le bontate ba tetseng everything ba na le yona hore re ye dikolong. Ba nahanne hore ka hore kenya dikolo re tlo ba thusa lelapeng re phamise malapa a rona. Ba nahanne hore ha o qeta ho graduate fela o sane o ya mosebetsing. Can you imagine ha ba o bona o tsowa mehla ena o ntso sa e ba o sheba. Le ba sa tsebe ho botsa hore ba se ke ba utlwisa bohloko ba ntse ba o sheba fe. Kgwedi ya fela o lo kopa tjhelete hape ho ye. Kgwedi ya bobedi ya fela. Selemo se ya fela. O so bona hore relationship ya o le motswadi ha e sa tshwana. Wa bona la sa o jwetso ra ngwana ka ho yena o nahana hore o batle mosebetsi. Ho yena o nahana o botswa ha o batle letho o dutse hae. O so bona fela le ka mokgwa o shebang ka teng la o sa mmona ha o qeta ho feta wa o sheba fela o nyemotsa ko re wa ipolela hore ai wo ke sentse fela nako aka ka mo kenya sekolo. But ke tse di ke di nnete tse o tshwantse re ke re shebane le tsona hore bana ba rona ba faisane le mathata. Ba qeta sekolo ba dula hae ha ba tsebe ba etse eng. Empa ntho nngwe thuto ha e re ruta fela hore bothata ba thuto ya rona kore e re rutile ho ba o batlana le mosebetsi to seek employment. Thuto ya rona ha e re ruti hore re ikemele, re dule fatshe, re plane, re kokote mamati a buleye re bone re etsa eng. Re na le diplane re ke re tlisa hore this is what we are thinking. You have seen a problem ya siwa ko lekeisheneng. You have a solution ya ntho eno. What can you do? A responsible government and business come in and say, this is what we think your solution can work. But how frustrating it is when you've got a solution and you think it can work and nobody listens to you. These things have to end. They have to stop. You know, I talk to many kids, many people will come and they say to us, Age Lefedi saying, Ntotsena, DG and others, Age Lefedi saying to ena, house kaba le favoritism. Somebody wa onka o mofa phone no wa botsa phone ya hawa moneya. How phone la ke batla mosebetsi. Rao. Jwan. No. Ne ke batla mosebetsi. So wa mmotsa hore, okay. What do you want me to do? You want me to do what you said you don't like? Khandisa rona, we must create an environment, a conducive, a fair for all of you to contest, and the best ankuwe. But if jwale because on the phone yak, I must do favors for you. I'm not different. So, kaofela harona. Ha re stopeng ho kopa di favor. Ha re etse bonnete ba hore re contesta maemo. Ha re demande hore government all over ba fane ka monyetla o lekanang. O ska ba ntsheba hore ke ngwana mang kapo ke tlwaelane le mang. But having said that, not all of you will be working more government day. Government day ka nnete ke ya re selemo le selemo. Imagine if government day e hira motho e molomong a qeta university. Ha ona tjhelete tlabe for services. E tlabe le di salaries. Can you imagine una le a billion 800 ya yona 800 million ya teng o manager na le staff. O spenda gore o patala 800 million o manager 200 million. Ke botlaka. So we can't do that. There's a limited number that can be employed more government. But there is a lot that you can do. Mo mosebetsi. Kaofela rona re nahana hore re tlamehile re lo nka mosebetsi re tlame ditai. Talente ya hao, I've seen so many doctors, medical doctors that were forced to go to medicine when it was not their line, but frustrated. I know of many teachers who have gone to the field because it was an easy way, ya ho balea poverty, but they were not teachers. Re a makala ha re ba bona jwale ka baka la frustration ba ba turn into drinking. So we need to find our true version by following what is best for us. Hara design wa ka o tshwana. Hona le ngwana ya na le talente ha bohloko. Ka talente ha ya ka phela. Hona le mong o ka ba le PhD. Bana kelelo ya hao e kwaleile. PhD ana o etsetsa letho. O tlameile o kgone ho sebedisa seo se fitlheletseng hore se tle se o sebeletse. Me ka mantswe ana ke re ho lona, we are proud that through all challenges, mathata le kopaneng le wona, le tswetse pele la qeta sekolo. Me ka token ena merSETA e re fileng yona, re ho lona re a leboha haholo that you are here now. Moving forward, we need to sit down, plan together, and understand hore le ya kae, so that ha le tla le fela. merSETA, you know, if I tell you how this came about, Mempandemo came to this province and alabotata ka program e nngwe ya rona. So we ended up discussing, and she indicated that I would like to help this province. And then the team, ba merSETA, they came one day. We sat down, and I thank the MECs Tarona, Kadisha Brown, Thabo Meko, Maki Mahase, Dibulelo, Mahlatsi, Mama Action, Matai Lezu, Ndate Mohale, and many others, Lady HODs. And then came up le Togomani and submitted it the following day, helped of course by merSETA. And later in the afternoon we got a message, Yahore, you have been granted so much. This is just an indication, Yahore, once you put your mind in doing something and you do it right, once you have a purpose, a leadership without purpose, because habatsebi le bona ba sebeletsa eng. O ka fumana MEC ile kwana e sebetsa, MEC e nngwe sebetsa e nngwe tletse le na, empa ha o sena moelelo ha ona molemo. So you need to have leadership, a collective that has a purpose and they understand their purpose. And the purpose is not to contest or in a department that perform a better, but is to work together, collaborate, find solutions to challenges that we face today, and make the province tick. We are going to turn this province into a province that would unlock the potential of other provinces. We are a province that shares the borders with almost 6 other provinces, the provincial borders and Lesotho. So we must use our central location to unlock the potential of South Africa and to help South Africa become a better country. So for that, the Central University of Technology, the University of the Free State, and all the TVET colleges that are here, Motheo, we have a role to play and we must work together. We can't just work in silos and think that we will come to these functions very pretender. We must work together. We must do everything handle. We must agree, disagree, force each other, guard the ideas, and ultimately agree and work. Business, business is not a profit. But I think business is not conscience. Business is a khathaling environment. How na mo in the 21st century? So you need to have the heart to care. And then profit ya how leona. But this thing ya profit, if you say what is happening to capitalism now, you'll never know. It is becoming irrelevant because it does not care. It is inhuman. It focuses on profit only. So we need to have and to think of a system that thinks about and cares about the environment and also promotes the social being. We can't measure our success as a country. We must measure success also got the happiness index ya batho ba rona. So ntwe ya ona hana fela hore re ba di jacket re ya kwana ha e tlo re thusa ka letho. So ke a leboha DG o lekile o tsamaisa program ngwaneso ke a tseba. You tried very hard. We failed you. But nevertheless, we thank you for the effort. All the professors, the heads of these institutions that were here today, thank you very much. Our parent, Ralebo Ame, on behalf of the parents, and then can I get the DG or Musebet Ntate Thabo Meko? Ke etsa Ntate Meko jwalo ka mehla hobane wa tseba se a se etsa. Ntate Meko ke morumuwa ya tshepahalang. Maobane ke morumme a etsa mosebetsi. Me ke motlotlo go hona Ntate Meko. O dulo o etsa mosebetsi ona, o dulo o etsa. Banna ba utlwe ba lle wena. Ke a leboha Ntate Meko. Thank you very much, merSETA.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Premier, for your message. I'm quite sure that it has landed properly, especially the message that part of the message that was directed to the young people who are in the room here. Ke ratile na ora re batle tlo etelwa pele ke Matawa le batho ba Nyaope. Yeo yona re ka se khone na ana rona re tla be re le banna molo mara ba eta pele ba tsofetse re feta ke baka la jwala le matekwane le di drugs ka nako eo. It will be such a terrible environment for us to find ourselves in. So thank you very much for sharply raising some of those issues, including our future collaboration with institutions of higher learning. We need to strengthen that and ensure that they have an abundance of skills that can assist government to acquit itself out of a myriad of challenges that we are facing as government generally, both at local, provincial, and national level. Thank you very much. Just before I invite MEC Thabo Meego to do a vote of thanks, it is always not wrong to correct what went wrong at the beginning. We should have indicated that we have a bereavement where a former premier of the province has passed, Mayor Beatrice Mashoff, and I'm going to request that we all rise and observe a moment of silence in her honor for the role that she played as a leader of our government in this province. A moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. We were competing with a dove during our moment of silence. We are silent, and the dove is doing something else, singing. Let me invite MEC Thabo Meego, MEC for Economic Development, Small Business, Tourism, and Environmental Affairs.
DG, thank you very much. Indeed, my task is going to be very short. Mongali Gamba uqedile. Starting point, let me thank everybody who is here today to be part and parcel of a program that expresses the importance and the need of the relationship between the skills and the economy. After everything else is done, it is in the interest of taking our province at higher levels of development. And the skills are at the heart of that. Premier, let's thank you for your visionary leadership. State of the Province address, you appealed to the people of the Free State to embark upon a new growth path. To us as members of the executive, it was an instruction, hence today's program. merSETA, the song by DG summarized it all. Really want to thank you. You are one of a kind. It remains and continues to be a problem. I don't know about other provinces, but for our own province, to ensure that we lobby for new money into our province through national and international resources. And I think merSETA has demonstrated, and I suppose inspired others to also come on board. Beneficiaries, your leadership and our mothers. Premier was very clear. Akibatlu Senior, make your province proud, make your families proud, make your people in the Free State proud. I think lastly, let's also recognize and thank the mayors for their attendance. There's not going to be any development if we don't upscale on the relationship between what the province does and what municipalities is doing. So that signage is very key So your presence is indeed welcome. DG, HOD Education, MEC Makalo specifically, thank you very much for helping us that this program is realized and it has been conducted in the manner that it's been conducted, and we thank everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody who has cooperated to ensure that we dispose of this program in the shortest possible time. Thank you very much for that. You don't know what you have done to me. You have helped me not to be confined again to the delinquent boys' corner. You know, I've been in the delinquent boys' corner a few times for going overboard with the program. So today, you have saved me from going to the Stoatsy and Hook. So I will get my supper quite easier today for your cooperation, for having ensured that we succeed. And thank you very much for everybody's participation, as we have indicated. MEC Meko has already thanked all institutions, and as I say, the Premier has invited you to an open conversation. You as institutions of higher learning specifically, and to agree on the direction that we need to take to shape the province of the Free State, including the participation of business as our partners in addressing the challenges facing our communities. And thank you very much for that. This concludes our program, and I'm told that we are invited for lunch at the marquee outside. There was an arrangement made for a smaller group to have lunch at the holding room, but we are told that that food is not ready. And I said to them, now that that food is not ready, that's good. We are going to eat together in the tent. They will have just to make a table for Premier and his guests somewhere at the tent to eat there. And I don't know who will go and eat those, the other food up there, but somebody can go and eat it. Rona, we are also going to eat at the tent. Ibile re khathetse ke ntwe ne hore batho ba lo ja masapo le dijo tse monate le kapeng rona be go lo fepua kae kae ge potetswa kae kae re fuwa dijo tse fapaneng le tsa ba bang tse se monate ho hang re a re ntse re tene ya ke taba eno ya hore re potetswa ka mona, and then we are given food that is not delicious. Baba go and eat very delicious food there. So we are all going to go to the marquee there, the marquee tent, to enjoy our lunch. So you are all invited to go there. I'm going to request you that you rise and allow the Premier and the entourage to take a pedestrian locomotion towards the marquee. Thank you very much.